A staffer stumbles into the blizzard, thinking he can escape. Then the crowbar hits, the car climbs, and the killer drags his masterpiece back to the lodge. Moments later, glass explodes mid-film shoot, and a body drops into the scene like a sick, standing ovation.
What's that? You want to be scared? Come with me. You will experience tales of horror, ghosts, and death. It is not recommended for the weak at heart. Listen in the dark. It's more fun that way. This is Weekly Spooky.
Hello, my spookies. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's time for a little spooky in your weekly. I'm your host and narrator, Enrique Couto, and tonight we have the third installment of our winter mini-series, Banned by Rob Fields, and the body count is only growing. But before we get to that, I want to say thank you all so much for joining us. Here at Weekly Spooky, we're very proud to bring you something scary all year long, not just around Halloween. So make sure you're subscribed on your favorite podcasting app, because there's always something eerie coming right down the pike. And if you want to support us in a very direct way, we do appreciate it. All you have to do is head to weeklyspooky.com/join, and for as little as $1 a month, you get 2 bonus shows every single month, as well as over 5 years of exclusive audiobooks and creepypastas. That's at weeklyspooky.com/join. It would mean a lot to me to see you join over 80 other spookies in helping us keep the show going and growing. But now, as for tonight, imagine you're trapped at a horror convention where the schedule keeps moving even as the dead keep piling up. The storm outside is thick enough to swallow the road, and inside the lights are warm enough to make you pretend everything is fine. But what if the killer doesn't want secrecy? What if he wants witnesses, applause, a room full of people who can't look away? And what if the one person who can stop him is changing into something she swore she would never become again? Well, tonight, more will be revealed in a snowy ski lodge in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. So, get a warm blanket, get cozy. Here we go. Last time on Banned, the first annual horror snow-in continues at the High Point Ski Lodge as the snowstorm continues to rage. On Saturday morning, another victim is revealed as a member of convention promoter David Mellencamps' staff. Vickie Valentine vows to find Robbie Redden, the killer, and end his reign of terror. Late Saturday night, Vickie ventures outside, alone. Before long, a masked Robbie Redden attacks her. Vickie fights back, forgetting she's not the monster she once was. She overestimates herself and is nearly killed. He allows her to live, however, and promises her she will be his last victim. Vickie resumes her hunt for him and is found by Bidon Debrier, who reminds her she has a film to introduce. But Vickie Valentine's movie doesn't play. Instead, it's one starring Darcy Hart, whom Redden believes Vickie to be. In the chaos, a surprise is revealed to the patrons when another victim is revealed. How much worse can things get? Find out as Band continues with Part 3. Late Saturday night. Perspective, Vickie Valentine. Enrique Couto is still screaming. I glance over my shoulder and slap his arm enough to get him to stop. He freaks out when he finally sees the words, "Banned," upon Kathleen Witherspoon's midsection. Then he turns to me. "What the hell is going on here, Valentine?" "God damn it!" David Mellencamp shouts. Then he turns to look at Enrique and I. I point to him angry. "This is where you take out your phone and call the police to get back here." When he makes no move to do so, Enrique produces his own phone. "Call the fucking police or I'm doing it." Mellencamp shakes his head slowly. "You people just don't understand, do you?" He points right at us and raises his voice. "I can't afford to shut my show down. Don't you understand? I got nothing. Robbie Redden left me with nothing. I had to pay out everything I had just to keep his family off my back." When Henry, the person who runs the movie room, returns with the correct disc, Mellencamp grabs him and shoves him back to the doorway, making him drop the film. "Just get the fuck out of here. You can't even play the right goddamn movie." Before he can turn around to confront Mellencamp, he gets a shoe to the rear to shove him back out of the room. When Mellencamp turns back around, Enrique is the maddest I have ever seen him. "So you're saying you're not calling the police?" he yells. "Last I checked, that woman is the second person killed that I've seen with my own eyes. And you're just going to stand there with your fucking head up your ass. Mellencamp points at Couto. "Don't you test me." Couto gives this weird smile. Yet I know that he is quite angry. "Fine. Let the police test you then." Mellencamp tries to take the phone from him, but I step in between. Mellencamp groans. "Jesus Christ, I don't believe this shit." Then he looks right at me. "Just because you played monsters in horror movies don't mean you really know how to fight." "I do not have to fight you," I tell him. "In fact, you should fight neither of us. Or do you not understand that Robbie Redden is roaming free somewhere in your convention and will stop at nothing to ban you?" Mellencamp is not convinced. By now, Enrique is on the phone with the Binnock police. "How's Robbie Redden gonna be here at my show?" he demands. "That twig got his back broken in several places. I'm telling you right now, he ain't nowhere near here." "There have been significant medical advances in this day and age," I point out. "And who else would target you for what happened in Ridgeway Heights years ago?" Mellencamp sneers. "Let me tell you something. You ain't no goddamn detective. All you are is just a washed-up porn star who got lucky getting into horror movies. So quit trying to think with your head and just keep laying on your back, okay?" Every instinct is telling me to show him what I intend to show Robbie Redden when I lay hold of him again. But living with Bethany, my wife, she has seen my temper. With her, I've learned to be patient. But Mellencamp is severely trying me. Instead of dealing him severe punishment for his words, I point to the body. "Why is Redden targeting members of your staff specifically then? Why doesn't he target people coming to your show? I would imagine some of them were at Ridgeway Heights during that event all those years ago. Redden certainly has not forgiven or forgotten. Keep doubting everything you see. He will come for you when he feels that it's your time. But I suppose you will not heed my warnings. After all, I am just a washed-up porn star. I give him a wicked smile. Close your convention. Flee while you still can. Robbie Redden is here, I assure you. Am I correct in assuming that you have stopped paying for his medical treatments? Clearly, that did not keep him from finding you. I can also assure you that he is quite capable of both normal movement as well as killing. Kuto gets off the phone, then looks my way. The police are on their way. Again. He looks at Mellencamp. And Vickie's right. You should close this shit show down and report what's going on to the lodge manager. Then he yells, "Grow some goddamn balls and take some fucking responsibility for once in your life." Mellencamp points outside. "Have either of you seen the front desk up there? With the cops coming here a bunch, it didn't take long for word to get around about the people being killed here. There are more people trying to check out than there are checking in. They don't care there's a blizzard outside." Talk to the lodge manager, huh, Kuto? I already had the lodge manager tell me he's holding me responsible for all the room refunds they've had to issue. He's threatening to take me to court over this shit. I can't afford to close this convention, and I ain't gonna. Bidon had left the room for a moment. As he returns, "Hey, Dave, how many more of us have to die before you finally get the idea?" Mellencamp turns to Bidon. "Why did I ever let a pussy like you be a member of my staff? You and this porn bitch were made for each other." Bidon does not back down. "Looks to me like you're the pussy here, Dave. You're too afraid to admit when you're wrong, and you're definitely wrong here. Why don't you just shut this con down and cut your losses before it's too late? By the way, I called the police." Enrique laughs a little. "Guess we had the same idea, kid." Mellencamp roars and grabs hold of Bidon. He takes him to the floor. "I'm not wrong! I should just fucking kill your ass! How about that?" Now I no longer restrain myself. I grab the back of Mellencamp's hoodie and remove him from Bidon. I wish to show him what happens when you cross veranda. The first time clearly didn't stick. Instead, I take Bidon's hand and help him to his feet. Mellencamp is back to his. He reaches out to take hold of me, but I am quick to stop him. I seize him by the throat and pin him up against a nearby wall. He tries to free himself, but he does not understand the true strength of a Gorgon. "Do not lay hold of Bidon again," I warn him. "Next time I shall deal with you most harshly." I let go of Mellencamp and watch him drop back to his feet. He still refuses to listen to reason when he points at me. "You are done here. I mean it. Get the fuck out of my show, now!" "Oh, I will leave," I assure him. "Once I've found Robbie Redden again." The police have returned to the High Point Ski Lodge. Enrique and Bidon both talk to them. I can tell they grow weary of returning here. At least they are consistent with doing their jobs. Mellencamp tries to tell the police there is nothing wrong, but who was he trying to deceive? The detectives question all of us in the movie room. They especially question Mellencamp, suspecting that he is more involved than he lets on. Before long, the body of Kathleen Witherspoon is removed. I see her husband Terry standing outside, and the distraught expression on his face. When the police are finished questioning us, they give us the indication that they are likely to return soon. As for the screening, it never commences. Terry marches into the movie room and right up to Mellencamp. "Fuck you, Dave. I quit. I don't care how bad it's snowing out there. I'm getting the hell out of here while I still can. The two of them have an intense screaming match as Enrique, Bidon, and I leave the room. I feel Couto tap my shoulder. I turn around. So, Vickie, I know what just happened in there, but we've still got scenes to shoot for the new movie here, he tells me. I'm not trying to be a money-grubbing asshole like Melicant, but I nod. No, I will film the scenes if you require me. But are you sure that's a good idea, given the circumstances? For a brief moment, Couto seems ready to raise his voice. Instead, he sighs. What can we do? We can't just drive on out of here with that blizzard. Honestly, I thought about telling the rest of the crew to stay locked in their rooms, but I don't want them to panic. Maybe if we can come out here and work on the movie, they won't think about all this shit. Besides, we'll be right out here in the open, which means we'll all be safe. I consider his logic, then nod once. What time will we commence with shooting? He considers it. I'll get the others and let's meet back here in 20 minutes. Very well. Perspective, Robbie Redden. Let's talk about Terry Witherspoon, shall we? Just seeing how panicked he looked was just priceless. Terry was all high and mighty that day when he and Grimm both kept shoving me out through the main doors of the Holiday Inn. Even then, they both couldn't keep me out of that convention. It wasn't until Dave came along and helped them both that they thought they finally got rid of me. Except they didn't. For a brief moment, I was actually considering sparing Terry. Just seeing the pain and anguish on his face showed me he was regretting what happened years ago. But I realized I just couldn't do it. I already let Darcy Hart go earlier, but that was only a reprieve. I still had every intention of getting that heartless bitch. But if I would have let Terry go, then what was to say he wouldn't have moved on past Kat and found another woman and possibly even been happy again? The more I thought about that, the more I realized, maybe because I was able to walk again, that I was going soft. No, way too much happened at Ridgeway Heights for me to just forgive and forget. I also went through far too much pain. There was no way in hell that I could possibly let Terry go. I just couldn't. Now it's time to ban Terry Witherspoon. Terry sure wasted no time packing some stuff and checking out of his room. Now he was outside. Oh, I knew people could drive on out of here. You could definitely drive through Binnock. The local businesses were still open. You could even go into pubs and order some food. I was pretty sure there was an inn you could check into, providing it wasn't sold out. The only problem was, you couldn't get out of Binnock itself. The plows were going around and keeping the streets clean. They were even keeping the road going into the High Point Lodge wide open. But leaving Binnock itself, good luck. You'd likely get stuck somewhere a lot less hospitable than this small town. And good luck calling for a wrecker to come out in the blizzard to get you. Who could say whether they were overloaded and overworked with calls or they just weren't going out into the storm at all? But I was more than okay with keeping Terry company. So he was no substitute for Darcy, but us hanging out and getting reacquainted wouldn't take long. Like Grim did on Friday, Terry had to walk all the way to the back of the lot, where Dave made all the convention staff park their cars, and looking at Terry's, he would have to remove chunks of snow and ice from it. That was how many inches had fallen just since Friday night. "Hey, buddy, need some help?" I called out to Terry. I half expected him to just tell me to fuck off, but "Yeah, if you don't mind." Not at all. So I went ahead and helped Terry clean off his car. He didn't say much. Wasn't expecting him to, though. It wasn't like his wife had just been murdered, right? It took several minutes, but we finally got Terry's car ready to go. He got his keys out and was barely able to open the driver's side door. Guess nobody told him you shouldn't lock your car up like that when a blizzard is going on. Just the same, Terry had to believe he could escape from the lodge. I kind of wondered if he'd be able to start his car. It cranked and cranked before it finally fired up. I saw how relieved he looked. He sat there for a little bit before he got out of the car. He finally started loading his bags into the back seat after brushing the snow off of them. Then he remembered I was still there. "Hey, thanks for helping me out," he said. "I think I'm all good now." I shook my head a little. "Nah, I don't think so. You look like something's bothering you." Terry just gave me a funny look. "I appreciate you helping me out with the car, but I'm not going to talk to you about my problems. I'm getting out of here." "Suit yourself," I told him. When Terry finished loading the car up, he got back in. Before he shut the door, I was quick to tell him, "Don't you even want to know?" He was really annoyed now. "Look, guy, I ain't got time for your shit, okay? I said thanks for helping me out. What more do you want?" "But don't you even want to know how?" I repeated. Now he was losing his shit. "Know how what?" "How I killed your wife," I told him simply. Then I removed my ski mask. His eyes got wide fast. "You're Robbie Redden. You're that little prick we threw out back in Ridgeway Heights. You're the one who got his back broken." He shot out of his car. "What the fuck do you know about Kat?" "I just told you," I answered. "I killed her." As I kept stepping back, he kept walking faster after me. "All I had to do was follow your wife back to your room. Kat sure loved being the attacker when she wouldn't let people get near the guests, unless of course they had money in hand. Well, tonight, Kat learned what it was like to be attacked. Oh, and I definitely didn't have any money in hand. Just my knife. You should have seen the look on her face when I stabbed her again and again. You people wrongfully banned me from Ridgeway Heights, so now I'm banning all of you from life. By the way, did you like how I displayed your wife?" Terry screamed like a deranged lunatic and came after me. I didn't move away from him. I punched him right in the face. He went down like a bag of hammers. It wasn't long before he was back on his feet. Then he went to his car and opened up his trunk. He pulled out a crowbar. "I'm gonna make you look worse than what you did to Kat, you bastard!" He roared and came at me again, swinging like a man who failed to defend his wife. But I was focused and kept moving out of the way. Before Terry found out Kat was killed, he'd been partying and was definitely drunk, which fueled his rage. He wouldn't stop until he killed me. When I was done playing with Terry, I stopped his latest attack and swiped the crowbar away from him. Now I was going to use it on him. With each hit, I got blood going all over the snow. "Tell you what, Terry," I told him after sending him to the ground. "You got $140? Give it to me, and I'll let you leave here. All that'll hurt is your pride." Terry was suddenly back on his feet and rushing me. "Fuck you!" Terry managed to tackle me down to the ground. He screamed at the top of his lungs when he started trying to hit me. He wasn't even focused and kept hitting my forearms. I was still holding the crowbar. When he slowed down, I brought it back and smashed him with it to get him off of me. I got back up. "I'm guessing either you ain't got the $140 or you're not planning on paying up. Either way, I don't care. You think you're in pain right now. It ain't nothing compared to the pain and hell I went through after Dave put me in front of that truck. All you had to do was just give me my fucking money back. Guess you and Dave are going to have to learn the hard way that karma is a bitch." I kept hitting Terry as he tried to get up. When he wasn't getting up anymore, I raised the crowbar and drove it down. He cried out when he felt himself being impaled and pinned to the ground. He could scream and scream as much as he wanted. With us being isolated and the blizzard still in full force, who was going to hear him? I moved and got in his car. It was so nice and warm inside, even with the door open. I pulled it shut and ran the windshield wipers to clean the wetness from the defrosters. I could see Terry perfectly, still struggling. I put the car in gear and floored it. I didn't hear him scream, but I could see the look of horror as I drove right to him, right over him. Then the car went up fast, then down again, just as fast. I stopped the car and got out. Terry wasn't dead yet, but I could hear his anguish. Just looking at him, I could see he was truly a broken man. His spine was severed completely. He was paralyzed from the waist down, but he was still moving. He should be so lucky. Maybe I snapped his spine in one place, but that was nothing compared to the multiple locations on my back that got destroyed. "Yeah, let's get you back inside the lodge, buddy," I told him. I grabbed hold of the crowbar and yanked it back out, causing Terry to scream one last time before he slumped back down and finally died. It was definitely time to get my next masterpiece ready to present to Dave. Perspective, Vickie Valentine. I am in the lobby and in costume as I work on Enrique's latest movie, another in his growing Babysitter Massacre series. I reprise my role of Larkin Combs, the main heroine from David O'Hanlon's inaugural book of the series. Larkin was hired to come on vacation with a family. Her job was to babysit the children and take them around the hotel while the parents are out at a convention nearby. Even though this is a ski lodge, it mostly appears like a simple hotel. Kuto got permission to shoot here before arriving yesterday. Before the murders. He's behind the camera when he calls, "Action!" I go through my lines with Ben Devers, who plays the guy trying to get with me. When we keep arguing, I tell him that I cannot leave the kids and that he needs to just go away. In this scene, which is close to the final act, I am fully aware that a killer is running loose in the hotel. There is a stunt double who's supposed to be getting his throat slashed, even though they could not retain the services of the Corgan twins this time up. Our director was able to find an effects artist who could give him what he needed. When Ben and I finish our lines, Kuto calls for a cut. We are ready to shoot the kill scene. Enrique tells everybody how he wishes for us to act out our scene. Soon, he backs off and tells us, "Okay, places, everybody." Upon calling action, we continue performing the scene until the killer appears, dressed in an outfit resembling that of the original prom night. Ben tries to fight him off when he comes for me, but gets kicked in the stomach. Then he rolls out of frame, as Enrique instructed him to do. From there, the killer picks up the stunt double. I come into the scene and jump onto the killer's back, where I shall remain until Enrique gives me the signal to drop off. "Get off me, bitch!" the killer yells. I see the signal and fall away and roll until I stop and can get back on my feet. Now the killer chases me through the lobby. Seeing there are too many people when I turn down the corridor, I make my way down again and use my room key to unlock the door to the swimming pool. Enrique and his camera person are following right behind me, getting everything I am performing. Now I am alone at the swimming pool. There are windows all around. According to the script, the killer is supposed to come up behind me and rip my top off before he stabs me in the side. But this is not what happens. A window nearby shatters. This body suddenly lands right in front of me. "Cut!" Enrique yells. "What the hell is going on here? That's not what we rehearsed, people." I point down to him. "And this man is not your stunt person, Kuto." He comes up beside me and sees. It is Terry Witherspoon. He's covered in blood, and his t-shirt is ripped down the middle. Carved upon his chest is the same word as the previous victims. Banned. "What the fuck?" Kuto chokes. Then he turns to the others. "Where the hell is Wolf Dan?" Fortunately, Dan York, the stunt person, would prove to be all right. Ben Devers found him knocked unconscious in our meeting room. Enrique and I look at each other, as if asking what should be done. I can see that he is greatly upset, but he remains calm as he takes a deep breath. "Okay, everybody. We're done here. I have the unfortunate responsibility of getting the lodge manager down here." Then he pulls out his phone. "I'll call the police." Again, Enrique points to me. "Vickie, why don't you see if you can find that Mellencamp idiot and let him know? Not that he'll care." Ben tells me that he and the other actors will remain with Terry until the police arrive. I leave to go look for Mellencamp. But I do not have to go far from the imbecile himself as he comes into the room fast. "What the fuck is going on here? I was told by the front desk that someone wanted to see me here." I point down at Terry's body. You would be correct. When he sees what has become of Terry, He becomes even angrier. It is then when I begin to feel the fangs growing within my mouth. I also feel my fingernails extending. I am again changing back into my monster form. I must leave here immediately. Bidon de Briere comes in. He must have followed Melicant inside. Then a voice comes in over the loudspeaker.
"Hello, Dave. Glad you could make it. I know you know who I am by now. You have to know. You are the last one. I'm coming for you, you son of a bitch, and don't think I don't have my eyes on you too, Darcy Hart. Let me put this in simple terms. You two are so fucked. It doesn't matter if you run and hide. It doesn't matter if you leave and try to escape. The blizzard is on my side and guarantees you'll be staying right here. You've seen what I did to all of your loyal staff. Now that I have your attention, just know I'll be coming for you and Darcy both soon."
Redden finishes with a demented laugh. I turn and walk back to my room as I start seeing my snake flesh in patches. I must hide and let the change finish. I must also get into another outfit. Bidon is quick to follow me. "Vickie, you really shouldn't be alone," he tells me. "You heard what that psycho said." I do not face him. Let the fool come for me again. I'll deal with him most severely this time. We arrive at my room. I tell Bidon to wait for me outside. I move to the bathroom and know that I do not require light. My night vision has returned once more. Just the same, I turn on the light and view myself in the looking glass. I am torn within. On one side, I wish to be mortal for Bethany. I've tried so hard to live as one. Bethany has been there to try and teach me how to deal with my aggressiveness as a warrior. Even though I possess my memories as both Veranda and as Vickie Valentine, I still continue to long for my old ways. When I was but a child, I began training to become a Gorgon warrior. It did not matter if you were male or female. As long as you were able, then you could contribute something to the tribe. In time, I learned to crave battle. That craving consumed me, for I became the best that my tribe had. When the Hellweaver invaded the Night Realm, I knew that our Gorgon tribe would fall to her. But we were a proud race, and would die before we would be in the shackles of servitude to that evil goddess. It is my fault entirely that I am tainted with her blood. I just knew that if I was to die against Hellweaver, that I would at least spill her blood in some fashion. So I bit her on her shoulder. The goddess screamed as I drank all that I could from her before casting me away. Did I attempt suicide that day? Even now I still cannot answer this question, but I tainted myself for all time. Even when my sorceress restored Bethany to me, Hellweaver's blood still flowed through my body. There was never any going back. Her blood shall be at full power again, and I shall become fully transformed once more. My only fear is losing Bethany. Yes, she accepted me back in the Night Realm upon learning my true identity. She and I became bound to each other as mates and in marriage, but I became mortal to save her from death. I truly believed that I would be mortal forever, but I see that Hellweaver's power is much greater than that of my sorceress. I am so deeply conflicted that I lash out and shatter the mirror with one blow. Looking upon my hand, I have drawn a little blood. Almost immediately I begin to heal. I feel that I must venture back out into the storm and complete my transformation. I will no longer belong to this realm and its people. I would either need to live in exile here or return to the night realm. No, I had best speak with Bethany. She alone shall determine my fate. But first, my conflict must be ended with you, Robbie Redden. Too much blood has been spilled in these last 2 days. I leave the bathroom and forego changing clothes. If Robbie Redden is to behold my true form upon what should be our final meeting, then so be it. I am still a proud Gorgon, and the last of my tribe. Bidon still awaits me as I exit. I thought you were going to change. Wow, how did you curl your hair so fast? Ancient family secret, I answer. Come. Bidon and I venture back to the lobby. We must pass a few of the meeting rooms to get there. It is then when David Mellicant appears. He must have seen me leaving. He turns me around and points right at me. I told you to get the fuck out. You ain't part of my show no more. But before I can address him, Bidon steps in front of me. Though he was assigned to be my handler, he seems to have assigned himself to be my personal bodyguard. Bidon points right in Mellicant's face. Just leave her alone, Dave. Mellicant gives an immature grin. Ooh, you gonna kick my ass, you little pussy? I should just beat the living shit out of you and leave you for Redden to kill. Mellicant grabs Bidon and throws him into an open meeting room. Then he goes in after him. Before I can move to help him, Mellicant quickly closes and locks the door. Sorry, bitch. This is between me and the pussy. The transformation is happening faster than before, but I cannot allow Bidon to be beaten to death by that cretin. What the fuck, Dave? Bidon yells. Are you crazy? Put that down! Then he screams. No, I do not care if I fully transform into my monster form again. Bidon is in trouble, and I am the only one who can save him. Hang on! I yell. As I start to feel my hair transforming into snakes, I know that I cannot allow the other mortals that still remain to see me in this way. My hair has shifted from being merely coiled strands to solid. Soon they shall become living snakes once more. My eyes fall upon a ventilation duct. I may not have my sword, the blood omen, but I do have my claws. Using them, I easily remove the vent cover. Much to my surprise, I am able to fit within this vent. I feel my shoes fall away. No matter. I have always been accustomed to fighting nearly naked. I am a very proud Gorgon female. I continue to feel my monster's strength returning, more and more. I continue to change. I can hear my hair hissing now. I move through the ventilation shaft. I keep hearing furniture being destroyed and Bidon screaming. Soon I find the vent opening and easily push it open to come out. The lights are still on. Bidon is unconscious and his face is covered in blood. David Mellencamp lays close by. His face is also covered in blood, as well as his jeans and his hoodie. Clearly, he used many of the wooden chairs on Bidon. Mellencamp moans and sits up. Then he sees me standing there. He gives me a weird look. I know that I am not fully transformed, but I must be enough to where he notices. You could have taken that stupid makeup off, Mellencamp says, getting to his feet. That's what your movies are, you know. Stupid. Bad writing, bad acting, and we both know you're the worst of the worst. I ignore his insults. You killed Bidon. Mellencamp shrugs. Why not? He was worthless anyway. I still don't know why I let him be on my staff. I even let him be your handler. He kept pestering me to let him have you. I figured he just wanted to stare at those fun bags of yours. But he's got a real hard-on for you. Maybe he watched a lot of your porno movies. Speaking of which, why don't we just, get it on? You heard Redden, he wants to kill both of us. So why don't we just fuck before he does? What would it matter to you after all those porno movies? What's one more fuck? You'll always be a whore, Valentine. There ain't no covering that shit up. I growl and knock Mellencamp back to the floor with a punch. He sits up and feels his jaw. Wow. For a bitch, you hit really hard, he sneers. Then he gets back up to his feet. Veranda shall savor beating you to a pulp for your insults this day. I sneer back as I tighten my fists. And for what you have done to Bidon. Just then, I hear Bidon moaning nearby. I move to him to see if he is well. In my excitement, Mellencamp grabs another of the wooden chairs and breaks it over my head. I find myself upon the floor, next to Bidon. We'll have fun soon, bitch, Mellencamp says crazily. But I'm finishing this bastard first. No! I growl and force myself to get up. No, bitch, you stay down. He jeers when he breaks another chair over my back. When I attempt to get to my feet once more, he has bludgeoned me with something metallic. The searing pain on my head becomes too much. As I fall into darkness, I hear Mellencamp again. I got no money left. I'm a ruined man. Now, I'm gonna ruin the both of you. Before I fade completely, I vow that if I live, vengeance against David Mellencamp shall be mine.
All right, my spookies, that was part 3, where the convention stopped being a weekend getaway and officially became a crime scene with a schedule. But next week, part 4 is the finish line. And it gets ugly because the masks come off. Literally, the killer finally gets what he's been chasing since Ridgeway Heights. The one person he believes owes him everything, and the lodge promoter is spiraling so hard, he becomes his own brand of monster. And as for Vickie Valentine, well, she doesn't just fight back. She changes. The things she's kept buried are surfacing quickly. You'll see kidnappings, reveals, a chase into the blizzard, and a finale where the debt gets paid with interest. So be here next Wednesday for the thrilling conclusion of Banned, so you can get all of the gory details. And speaking of, I want to say a special thank you to our Patreon podcast boosters, folks who head to weeklyspooky.com/join and pay a little extra to hear their names at the end of the show. And they are Johnny Nix,
Kate and Lulu, Jessica Fuller, Mike Eschewey, Jenny Green, Amber Hansford, Karen Weemet, Jack Kerr, and Craig Cohen. And if you want to hear your name next to theirs at the end of every episode of Weekly Spooky, just head to weeklyspooky.com/join and choose the $15 a month or higher tier. We really appreciate the support, but of course, for just $1 a month, you can get 2 bonus shows every month and over 5 years of bonus content, as well as my undying gratitude. But now it's time for me to get back to work. There's something scary coming on Friday, so be prepared. So for myself, for my executive producers, Bobbletopia.com and Rob Fields, for my creepy composer, Ray Mattis, and of course, my producer, Dan Wilder, I will talk at you sooner than you think.
Thank you for listening. Make sure to find your way back next week. But for now, you are safe. Trust me.